Chicago. You are turning into Channel 5 News, and I'm your anchor, Bill Jefferson.
And I'm Tom Stevenson.
Breaking news. Does Toussaint Louverture need to be remembered for his actions?
And Nick Robertson is going to tell us all about Toussaint Louverture. Hey, Nick.
Thanks, Tom Bill. It is important to know that in 1789 in Saint-Domingue, the Haiti Revolution occurred when the slave rebellion revolted against the French after the French Revolution abolished slavery in all of its colonies. This revolution was led by Toussaint Louverture, a leader of Saint-Domingue. After 15 years of war against the French, Toussaint led Saint-Domingue to become an independent nation. However, he never lived to see this after he died in a French jail on January 1, 1804. Toussaint presented certain qualities, and he should be remembered by them. Toussaint should first be remembered as a liberator of slaves, second as the leader of Domingue, and lastly the military commander.
Thanks a lot, Nick. We appreciate it. Now we're going to Tom Stevenson. He's going to tell us the first and most important reason why we should remember Toussaint. Here you go, Tom.
Thanks, Bill.
Welcome.
The first form of action Toussaint took to free the slaves in Saint-Domingue was in 1794. When the revolutionary government of France, Toussaint and his troops stopped the revolt and now support the French. Doc A. Furthermore, Toussaint wrote a letter to the French in which he expressed that if they had 1,000 lives, they would sacrifice them all rather than be subjected again to slavery. Doc B. Lastly, Toussaint stated that we have known how to confront danger to our liberty, and we will know how to confront death to preserve it. Doc B. Toussaint was fierce, giving freedom to the citizens of Saint-Domingue. The threat he wrote in the letter to the French government shows the passion he has for establishing liberty. Furthermore, he was intelligent to form allies with the French while learning that France abolished slavery in its colonies, a quality military commander possesses. Back to you, Bill.
Now I'm going to be talking about the second and most important reason why Toussaint should be remembered. While he was well known for being the liberator of slaves, he showed less often the quality of being the leader of Saint-Domingue. For example, Toussaint was part of the Saint-Domingue's Constitution of 1802. The colony being essentially agriculture cannot solve the least disruption in the works of its cultivation. Doc C. In addition, he not only created rules for the field of agricultural work, but he also created guidelines for those who didn't follow his rules. An example would be when he wrote, "Vagabond cultivators should be taken for the commander of the quarter." Doc D. Although Toussaint expected citizens of Saint-Domingue to work after slavery ended, he still kept in mind creating a nation where equality and consequences existed so no one would be ahead of no one else. And now we are going to talk to Turd Ferguson.
Good evening, my name is Terry Ferguson. While Toussaint created laws for Saint-Domingue during his rule, he did not like the quality of being a military commander. For example, in 1798, Toussaint defeats the British. He becomes the ruler of Saint-Domingue. Doc A. Another example of being a military commander is when he conquers Saint-Domingue, the Spanish portion of the island. Doc A. Few instances show Toussaint commanding his military to war during the Haiti Revolution, a quality that he didn't emphasize that much back in his era. Back to Nick.
Thank you, Terry Ferguson. In conclusion, Toussaint's actions show that he was much more of a liberator of slaves than a leader of Saint-Domingue and lastly, military commander. Toussaint's actions are significant for various reasons. The Haiti Revolution was the only successful slave rebellion in the world. In addition, it inspired the idea of liberty to other places that supported slavery. It may explain why slave rebellions in the U.S. occurred in the 17th century. Toussaint's efforts also affected society, for slavery doesn't exist in the Americas no more. If it wasn't for Toussaint to start the rebellion against the French, the idea of liberty would not exist today.